An AI just looked at your medical records, your lifestyle, your income, and predicted the exact year you will die. This is not science fiction. Researchers have already built it and tested it on 500,000 real people. Meet Life 2Vec, the AI model trained to treat your entire human life like a sentence it can finish. Danish scientists built it using 6 million citizens' worth of data, health records, jobs, income, education, and daily life events. Every hospital visit, every job change, every diagnosis. Encoded as tokens, just like words in a ChatGPT conversation. The model reads the story of your life and predicts how it ends. Not with a page number, with a year. They tested its predictions against people who had already died. The results were deeply unsettling. Life 2Vec correctly predicted survival outcomes with 78% accuracy. That's higher than most doctors. And it wasn't just predicting death. It predicted personality shifts, career changes, entire life trajectories. The secret weapon? Treating human experience like language. The same transformer architecture that powers ChatGPT. Just as AI learns grammar and context from billions of words, Life 2Vec learns the grammar of human lives. Your income bracket, your zip code, your chronic conditions. To this AI, they're all just vocabulary. It knows that people who take early retirement die sooner, that having a driver's license extends life. Patterns invisible to any human doctor, absorbed by the model across millions of lives simultaneously. But Life 2Vec isn't the only one. Similar models are emerging from Stanford, Google DeepMind, and the NHS. Google's model analyzed medical scans and predicted 5-year mortality more accurately than trained radiologists. The NHS model flagged patients at high risk of dying within 30 days, enabling doctors to intervene before collapse. These aren't rogue experiments. They're peer-reviewed, published, and already being piloted in real healthcare systems. The technology works. The real question tearing researchers apart is whether it should. Because once the algorithm knows, so might your insurance company, your employer, your government. In Denmark, Life 2Vec predicted survival outcomes with over 78% accuracy. That's not a guess. That's better than most doctors. The model tested 500,000 real people. It knew who would live and who would die within 4 years, with chilling consistency. And the factors that mattered most weren't just disease, mental health history, job loss, social isolation. These quietly outweighed genetics. Loneliness was a death sentence hiding in plain sight. The algorithm found it buried in years of anonymous records, invisible to human eyes. Now hospitals are paying attention. Early pilots in Scandinavia flag high-risk patients automatically before symptoms even appear. Preventive care gets smarter. Resources flow toward people who need them most, people who never even knew they were at risk. But insurance companies are watching this very closely, and their interest isn't purely about saving lives. If your predicted lifespan drops, so could your coverage. Premiums could spike before you've even felt a symptom. Employers could screen candidates. Governments could allocate pensions differently. The data makes discrimination invisible and perfectly deniable. This is algorithmic discrimination, not loud and obvious, quiet, statistical, and buried inside a black box. Ethicists and lawmakers are scrambling. How do you regulate a prediction? Can you legally act on something that hasn't happened yet? Some countries are already drafting laws. Others are moving faster with deployment than with protection. But the deepest wound isn't legal. It's personal. Imagine being handed a probability score for your own death. Studies show that receiving a terminal prognosis changes behavior, sometimes for the better, often for the worse. Knowledge has weight. What happens to ambition, to love, to the simple act of making plans, when a machine tells you how many years are left? Researchers debate whether results should ever be shared with individuals or kept strictly within clinical walls. The model doesn't just see illness, it sees poverty, race, geography. It reflects every inequality baked into the data it was trained on. If your zip code shortens your predicted lifespan, and that prediction is then used against you, the algorithm becomes the system. The creators of Life 2Vec insist it was built to help, to extend lives, not to limit them. But tools don't control who picks them up. We've built a mirror that shows humanity its own end. The question isn't whether the reflection is accurate, it's whether we can handle what we see. Every civilization that has ever existed has tried to predict death, through stars, through bones, through prayer. Now we do it through data. But here is what no algorithm can compute. The moment a person decides to change, the unexpected remission, the choice to quit, to move, to love differently. Life 2Vec can tell you the statistical shape of your future, but it cannot tell you what you will do with that information. And maybe that is the point. Not to surrender to a predicted ending, but to use the warning as fuel. The real question was never whether an AI could see our death. The real question is whether knowing makes us more alive. The answer, like all the most important ones, is entirely, stubbornly, beautifully human.